You're listening to Mildly Offensive with your host, Corey Wagner and Dylan France.
So let's dive into it, Dill. We're gonna cover the Jet game from yesterday, right? We're gonna cover the Antonio Brown situation, and we're gonna dive into some playoff scenarios.
And we're gonna just fucking ramble.
Fucking
ramble on. There's a song there.
Gonna sing my song.
Zeppelin song. Yep.
I believe so.
Yeah.
But so we're gonna do a little bit of
Jews.
Yeah. Gonna do a little NFL football. We're gonna do NFL football.
Yeah, NFL football. Some more NFL football.
Do we have anything else?
I don't think so. Still too early to talk about basketball.
Yeah.
Baseball hasn't made any progress whatsoever.
I know, like what's going on with that? We have no clue, right?
Yeah, we don't.
It's lockout McGee.
Yeah, I don't even think they've met, to be honest with you.
No, I doubt it.
I do think they'll be meeting soon. They're probably supposed to meet soon, because this is the time of year when you're a Jets fan where you're like, but at least in 1 month, pitchers and catchers report, and then you got spring training and the baseball season starts, and then you forget about being a Jet fan until next year.
A lot of Jets fans are Met fans, so
the Met fans get excited
with the hiring of Buck Showalter. You got to be excited.
Yeah. Get excited, and then you're out of it by the All-Star break, and then you do it again every year. It's like a vicious circle for Jets and Mets fans,
So we're gonna start with football, and then maybe we'll do a segment on the NBA a little bit later.
Yeah, why not?
And that'll be probably what we'll do today. What we'll cover. Not a lot going on besides the NFL, but while the NFL's burning hot, we gotta really
smoke some pot.
Exactly. So we will be back shortly, and we will give you NFL
pot.
Yeah, pot.
No.
NFL. We'll give you NFL content. The pot you'll have to supply yourself, unfortunately.
And it's BYOP.
Man, my stomach really hurts.
Really? Your stomach hurts that bad? Well, why don't you try KO Pectate? It's supposed to relieve heartburn and diarrhea in what will feel like no time at all.
Yeah, I've heard about that KO Pectate. They've been in business for over 20 years, and unlike Pepto-Bismol, the taste is much more bearable. So where can I pick up this amazing KO Pectate?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because that's the best part of this product. Anyone can find it at their local drugstore or supermarket.
Great, gotta go get me some KO Pectate.
My pecker tingling, balls are jingling too. Come on and tell me whether I can link them together with you. I need a hot slip mommy to slip my slimy into. I must be over eager, cause even your beaver will do.
We're back.
And we're black.
And we're coming on you, we're coming at you.
Yeah, we're coming on you first now. Look at that.
Whoa.
You know what they say.
What did they say, Gil?
I was asking you, do you know?
About coming?
No.
No.
Just about life in general.
No, what did they say?
Well, that's what I was asking you. I thought you knew.
Okay, so we don't know.
Yeah,
we don't know what they say.
We don't know.
We have no clue what they say.
Wow.
So, ultimately, we're going to get into the Jets here. Yesterday's game was a good game, huh? I mean, Dylan and I were both physically there watching it. So,
yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty impressive stat.
That makes everything even more. That made it an even better game.
Definitely.
There was not one person in the house that knew we existed. Besides us.
Definitely. So, first things first. Zach Wilson had a pretty good game.
Yeah, you gotta like what you're seeing from Zach Wilson. He's made some big steps in the right direction.
He's not throwing interceptions.
Third game in a row without a turnover.
He's not making the stupid decisions. He's throwing the ball out when he's throwing the ball out of bounds when he has to. He's running away from the pressure when he has to. The only decision I thought he made yesterday that was questionable is definitely the fourth down play at the end of the game.
Yeah, I love the decision to go for it there, but you got to come up with something better than sneaking on 4th and 2 when
they're stacking the box.
Yeah. He said he tried. I heard him in the post game interview say that there was an open. The A gap was open, but that's still if your other option was to turn and give the ball to Braxton Berrios, who had another really good game and also scored a rushing touchdown from about the same area of the field. Why wouldn't you just turn and give him the ball?
Yeah, Braxton Berrios is a playmaker. He's been a playmaker this whole season, and he was great yesterday. And he was definitely the best player on the field for the Jets. Braxton Berrios is the guy you got to give the ball to.
Yeah, grab some berry hose.
And Braxton, though.
Yeah.
You gotta give it to him. In that situation, that's the game. I mean, Tom Brady loses to us, and Tom Brady is crying like a little incessant bitch at the end of the game if we beat him.
Yeah, and I think the one thing that hasn't changed about Tom Brady is every single play he's standing there in the ref's ear about something, trying to
persuade the refs to call something in his favor, and at the end of the day, like, it gets a little annoying.
Like, they don't wear your jersey anymore, Tommy. You're not in Kansas anymore.
You're not in New England
Toto
anymore, Tommy. Big Tom.
Old TB.
Old Teabag.
I was giving it to him. When he was up by us, I was screaming at him.
So, to get on to the next little part here, the Jets' defense, I thought was pretty bad.
Yeah.
They did not play
in the
well.
In the beginning of the game, they weren't terrible. Mosley seems to be all over the place. And
Mosley to me, everybody's talking about how great he is this season. I like this.
He had a good game.
I
yesterday.
don't think Mosley's had the greatest year. I think he's been okay, but the defense has sucked. They've not stopped one person, and I know that's not all his fault. But if he's that great a defensive player, why aren't we getting stops?
We did sack Brady 3 times yesterday, which
okay, but we
oh, I'm not disagreeing with you when it's, we never have been able to stop a nosebleed. All season we haven't been able to stop a fucking nosebleed.
Yeah.
But the thing is we're young. We're besides Mosley, how old is he's probably the oldest guy on our defense.
Mosley? Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And, Quincy Williams had a good game, I thought. Anyway, the linebackers, I think we got one more year, Mosley.
Mm-hmm.
But the corners, I like Michael Carter II. Bryce Hall was getting a little bit abused yesterday.
Yeah, he had an okay.
There was a catch that Antonio Brown had, who obviously we'll get to him soon. He caught the ball and he stepped and he just like Bryce Hall fell off of him. And look, what do the kids say nowadays? He broke his ankles.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah, and then you had the interception from Eccles, and Eccles brought the ball to Brady after the game and had him sign it.
By the way, that was one of the worst throws I think I've ever seen Brady make. That was such an underthrow, Brady's interception. Ultimately, there was a play in the game in the third quarter that I thought the Jets defense, they just exited the one side of the field and let the Buccaneers get a first down when it really mattered. Again, inexplicably, I feel like this defense has just blown coverages every game this year, and I know they're young, and I know there's some players on the defense, but the coordinator has to go. He's terrible.
Oh yeah,
he's terrible, and we have to this scheme we have to be better. We got to set ourselves up to be better defensively.
We've talked about this too. If Saleh is this defensive guru or mastermind or whatever people claim that he was when he got hired here, why isn't he calling the plays? He refuses.
It's almost like he's afraid to call them, which is bizarre.
Yeah,
to say the least.
I mean, he called them in his defenses in San Francisco were nothing really to write home about. But the 1 year there was 1 year where his defense was very good and he was calling the plays.
Maybe he knows he doesn't have the players, and
he's waiting until
he doesn't want to risk the exposure to making himself look bad beforehand, or maybe he is protecting the coach. That's the defensive coordinator. But at the end of the day, all the defensive coordinator has is a nice beard.
Yeah.
Other than that,
it's not even that nice.
Other than that, he's a fucking asshole.
Yeah. Well. The other thing is, too, maybe Saleh's done his homework on how fast coaches come in and out of this fucking organization. So maybe he thought, well, if I call the plays and I don't do a good job, I'll get fired quick like everybody else.
Maybe. And then, so let's turn our attention to Antonio Brown now, shall we?
Yeah, I mean...
Or do you want to talk about the Jets' offensive line? What do you want to talk about?
Well, no, I don't think...
The offensive line was great, except for the fact that they had Font leave with an injury. Other than that, they were pretty good.
I'm just real happy with what I've seen in terms of progression from Zach Wilson.
Yeah, the progression on the offensive side of the ball has been very good. The Jets should have won that game, so the fact that they lost it is probably good for our draft position. But ultimately, I felt like we should have. We probably had a 90% chance of winning that game.
Right, and you think about some things for next year that you wanna get to help this kid succeed here is maybe like a big bodied safety blanket tight end to throw to.
Well, that'd be great.
Because if you think about it, yesterday on that 4th and 2, if we have a big body tight end that can catch the ball, he could run a play action there and really fake out Tampa Bay, and you got the tight end wide open in the end zone.
True, or you could run like a post route like Brady did on the 4th down play in the end zone there,
right?
Where they just threw it just inside, and the guy's just bigger than the Jets defender, and that was the end. Like O.J.
Simpson.
No.
I don't know.
What's his last name?
That was Brait, I think, wasn't it?
Cameron Brait, yeah. But didn't they have another tight end, O.J. something or other?
O.J. Howard.
O.J. Howard. But okay, so Cameron Brait just used his big body and got that. He caught that ball. He was just there because he was bigger than the Jet defender, and the Jets are missing something like that. So ultimately, we have that to look forward to hopefully in the future. If Zach has one of those, and then maybe he has one more lineman that could give him a little cushion. Maybe with Vera Tucker, on the other side, you could get what's his face? The Jets, the guy that's hurt, the big guy. Becton. If Becton can come back and be healthy next year, that could make a huge difference for this team next year. If Becton's healthy and a player next year, I know that the staff's down on him, and I know that his work ethic isn't the greatest, but if Becton can make it, if Becton can be a difference maker next year, the Jets could be a much better team in a very short amount of time here. I really believe that. I think Zach has shown enough progression that you can say next year you expect him to make that leap.
Right.
And that leap should be significant.
Yeah, I think the other thing that we're probably going to need is a number 1 receiver.
Yeah.
Like a proven number 1 receiver would be nice. I don't know what we could get or what's going to be available, and we're going to have to probably wind up grooming a number 1 receiver because I don't think that it's Corey Davis.
But I do think Elijah Moore could be the number 1 guy.
Yeah.
I don't know I don't know about next year, but Elijah showed a lot of promise.
I think we do need another receiver though. Either way, whether it's number 1 or number 2.
Well, Keenan Cole had a good game yesterday.
Yeah, he did.
But
I don't think it's Corey Davis though.
No, Corey Davis drops too many passes, and he's always hurt. Always hurt.
Yeah,
that's the problem. So, do you want to take a break, or do you want to go and talk about Antonio? Let's talk about Antonio.
Yeah, we might as well.
So.
When was that? Was that the second?
That was the third quarter.
The third quarter happened?
Yeah. So, Antonio Brown, for those of you that don't know, he decided to exit the game on his own accord. He was asked to go into the game several times by the head coach Bruce Arians on the Buccaneers, and he declined. And as such, he decided to take his cleats, or not his cleats, his shoulder pads and his jersey and pretty much everything off of the top of his body and throw it into the crowd.
Yeah, he threw the helmet and shoulder pads off to the side by the bench, and then he threw his undershirt and his gloves into the stands.
What about his jersey?
His jersey was still on his shoulder pads.
So he just left it. Okay.
Yeah.
But so ultimately he had no shirt on. He was running into the end zone.
Across the field,
into the end zone, and decided he didn't want to play anymore.
And what the really funny part about the whole thing was the PA announcer for the Jets was doing their whole shtick where it is 3rd down. You get the defense jacked up, you get the crowd all jacked up, and there's Antonio Brown running through the end zone, doing jumping jacks almost. It fucking looked like. Who are you trying to get fired up? Are you trying to fire up the Jet fans? Because that's all it did for me was fire me up.
Listen, Antonio Brown's had like 18 chances in this league, and in every team that gave him a chance, we've all shook our heads and gone, I can't believe he's getting another chance. This, I hope, is the final nail in the coffin. I hope this is it. I'm sorry, this guy has proven that he's a head case. He's proven that he doesn't respect the organization, nor does he appreciate the opportunity he has as a professional athlete. Now, I know, Dylan, you said that you think that there's a chance that maybe he has some mental issues. Maybe
I'm not ready to.
Maybe the CTE stuff, maybe the concussion stuff has affected him. But the end of the day, if that's the case, if the NFL really believed that, they should have gotten him help.
They need
right?
to get him help.
They should have gotten him help.
Yeah, they should have definitely got him help,
And if Brady thinks that, Brady, as his friend, should get him help, right?
Yeah.
At some point, if Brady, let's say that the theory is the guy's not mentally right? If Brady's really close with him, and he lived with Brady for a while,
Yeah.
if Brady's that close with him, wouldn't Brady know if the guy was off?
Right.
Because of some mental issue, and wouldn't he do something to step in and help the guy?
Well, it's very weird. Brady did say, Brady did comment on the whole thing, and he did say that one thing that we should do is try to get him the help that he needs. And here's the exact quote. It says, "I think everybody should do what they can to help him in ways that he really needs it. We all love him, and we all care about him deeply." Now, say what you want about this entire situation.
Yeah.
But the way that this has been covered has been the way that we're covering it right now. Everywhere. This guy needs help, this guy needs help. For Tom Brady to come out and say that we should help him, I think it's a class act on Tom's part for saying, for maybe the NFL doesn't know that he needs help.
I think it's a condemnation on both the NFL and the people that are his friends in the NFL. If the guy is not right, if he has an ailment either mentally or physically, it's their duty to help him out. Like if giving him millions of dollars and signing him to a contract and letting him play football isn't gonna help him if the issues that he has are from football. Like we need to recognize that if it's a bigger issue than just him acting like an asshole, just to act like an asshole, that something needs to change.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the thing that pisses me off about Brown is the attitude, the blatant disregard for the fact that he doesn't seem like he recognizes that he's a professional athlete that sets an example for kids. Mm-hmm. A lot of people love him. A lot of people think he's this great athlete, this great wide receiver, and they expected him to be on the field, especially in the second half of that game. You're down 14 points at the time that he's doing this, and your expectation, you're getting paid millions of dollars to play a sport, is to help your team. You don't give up on your team.
And you are good enough to have been somebody,
a difference maker
that could help. Yeah.
And like, if they would have lost that game, a lot of people could have blamed the fact that Brown decided to quit on the fact that he left, or on the fact that he decided to not play. The reality is, he obviously didn't care about the team. He cared about himself at that point, and he cared about doing what he wanted to do when he did it. Now, again, I'm sure Arians, whatever happened with Arians and him, we don't know. We're not there.
We might not ever know, because there's always going to be three sides to a story.
But we're not physically there listening to the conversation. But
right.
All I can say is Arians is a great coach, and Arians normally, I don't think Arians would do anything to stop his team from having a chance to win. Arians recognized that Brown gave him the best chance to win. Arians wanted to win that game.
Yeah.
He didn't want to play. He didn't want to go back in the game. So that's not on Arians to me. That's on
it's
Antonio.
It's crazy how many reports have come out. Like one report said that Brown hurt his ankle and didn't want to play. And then the other report is he was upset that
the other report was that he had a couple of bonuses that could have been
totaled like $1 million.
It totaled like $600,000 or something, and he could have if he would have received like another 50 yards and one more touchdown or something. He could have
catches.
He could have collected the extra money, but I mean this dude's made a lot of money, and he's already getting paid a lot of money. I don't think $600,000 is gonna sit here and make him go off the deep end. And if my contention is, if he was going to have an issue with what they were doing and trying to stop him from getting this bonus, if he had a real issue with it, the correct way to deal with it is to wait until the end of the game and bring it up to management and the coach after the game, not do it publicly and embarrass everybody. And that's what he did. So ultimately, there's no excuse for what he did. His actions were tantamount to totally trying to sabotage his team. And I just, if another team in the NFL gives him a chance, again, it's an embarrassment. It really is.
I'm really under the impression that this is probably going to be the last time we see Antonio Brown in the NFL.
Yeah, but maybe this was the instance that people will finally realize this dude needs mental help.
Maybe they will get him mental help. I mean, we obviously are not. We're not
friends with Antonio. We don't know Antonio.
No, and we're not taking. There are a lot of people in this country that need mental help. We're not taking any of that lightly. Maybe he does need it, but the problem is if people know that he needs it, why hasn't he gotten it?
And when you're a star athlete and you make that much money and it's in the NFL, like you're the first one to get access to that kind of help. So the fact that he hasn't received it is the problem. And like you said, if the people up on the top here that are in on the NFL didn't feel like getting him the help or didn't realize he needed the help, then shame on them. At the end of the day, they might have made a conscious effort to decide that he was making them more money on the field than he would have off the field, and that is not okay.
No,
we cannot sit here and condone that behavior at all. That's just as bad as Antonio is, if that's what they were doing. Yeah. But if that's not what they're doing, and if they just are totally oblivious to the fact that Antonio needs help, then they gotta step in now. Either way, you can't plead ignorance on it. It's messed up. We have to recognize as a society that there are people that are in need of...
And the internet, man, the internet community just took this and ran with it.
And
there's pictures of guys running down the street.
Meme after meme have attacked him. And again, I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve it. I believe he does.
I've laughed at some of the memes.
Yeah, I believe Brown deserves what he gets at this point. But like you said, to your point, if the guy really is mentally ill, I feel bad for him.
And he just needs to get help.
But
there's no.
But
we also don't know if he's doing this and refusing the help. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's not accepting the help.
And the other thing we have to remember is
maybe they've done everything they can. And
the other thing we have to remember is, this could all be a facade. Maybe he's using this as an excuse. So we have to be cognizant of all angles of this. But at the end of the day, we can only go with what we see in person, on the field and off the field, in public, and that's all we have to go on. And the guy has been a jerk off for a while now, and
faking his vaccination.
I cannot.
Funny. I thought that was actually pretty funny.
I cannot sit here and give him any benefit of the doubt at this point.
No,
the vaccination thing was a joke, and the fact that he did that was fucked up. And I actually think he should have been suspended for the whole season on that. I know a lot of people, think it's hysterical. The guy obviously.
Well, I just knew that at some level, whether it be in professional sports or outside of professional sports, you were going to see somebody doing a fake vaccination, getting fake vaccinated cards, and trying to fake this whole thing because they don't actually want to do it.
Yeah, ultimately. Ultimately, we're in a position now that we have to recognize that even though a lot of us don't agree with having to show vaccination for this, that, and that, in this situation when you're around all these people in a 53-man locker room, you have to realize that if one guy is sick or if one guy's not vaccinated and you can't document and trace who's sick. And the whole team gets sick because of it. Then
then there's that.
Then you're in a position where you're not only responsible for yourself, but you're responsible for the whole team's health. And listen, Antonio is a very selfish person, obviously, and it only comes back to being selfish. The whole reasoning behind the vaccination thing.
Yeah, it's just funny though. It's just to me, it makes me chuckle a little bit that the first person you hear about with a fake vaccination card just happens to be this Antonio Brown.
Yeah. Well, so that's really the Jets. Good game by the Jets.
Yeah. Progress.
Obviously, our draft pick wasn't affected because we didn't win, which was a nice thing. And ultimately, the Bucks the Bucks got their win, even though they played like garbage. And I mean, I think the big takeaway here is the Bucks aren't that good. Their defense is terrible, and I actually think, like you said before, and I know you didn't say this on air, and I mean, I think they're going to be ousted in the first round. How about you?
Yeah.
So,
And I think it depends on who they play, but I think maybe they can win one game, I don't think they're
not a super.
Let me tell you this right now. It's not the same team that went up and beat Green Bay last year. I don't think they would have a chance going to Green Bay and winning this year.
I agree. I agree with that. So ultimately, we'll actually go through some of the playoff things again in a couple of minutes,
and then we're gonna come on you.
Then we'll be back. We're gonna go through maybe a little NBA, and then we'll wrap it up. We will see you soon, guys. Yeah. We're excited. Oh yeah, excited. We're very excited.
Frosty the Pervert, in a trench coat he did go to the schoolyard to expose his dick and balls made out of snow. Frosty the Pervert, all the kids he liked to watch. His dick did grow when he packed snow on his cold and icy crotch.
Oh, we're back from a little sabbatical here. A couple of minutes. Couple of minute interlude, right?
We went on fucking vacation.
Yeah, we were like on a fucking island, guys.
Yeah. Nah, if we were on an island, we would not be recording this.
Yeah, we'd be sipping margaritas and Mai Tais. And Dylan would probably be having some Mai Tais.
Yeah.
That's probably his drink of choice.
He
loves Mai Tais. This guy's a Mai Tai guy. We call him the Mai Tai master.
Yeah, I'm the master of Mai Tai.
Yeah.
Sounds like a karate or
He doesn't like tying ties, but he likes Mai Tai.
Yeah, Mike Tyson.
So, ultimately...
So, we're back, and we're coming on your back.
Yeah.
You know.
Everybody loves a good comeback.
Yeah. Seabiscuit.
Mighty Ducks.
The Bucks yesterday, that was a comeback. They came back and then came on our backs.
Why don't we go, we're going to stay with the NFL a little bit. We're going to go through the playoff scenarios.
Yeah, because it's obviously changed quite a bit since
it has.
Last time we talked about it.
It definitely has.
And you know, it's crazy because now the Bengals yesterday, who not only did they beat the Chiefs, they looked good doing it.
Oh yeah, Joe Burrow.
Jamar Chase. Yeah,
Joe Burrow threw for over 500 yards.
Yeah, and Jamar Chase had like 200 something yards and 3 touchdowns.
Oh, fuck Jamar Chase.
Yeah, well,
fucking bastard.
But they beat the Chiefs by 3, and
so that puts the Titans in the driver's seat, does it not?
Yes. So the Tennessee Titans are now
the number 1 seed.
The number 1 seed in the AFC.
And they're getting Derrick Henry.
And Derrick Henry is back to practicing full speed, which is bad news for everybody except for the Titans. If he comes back and stays healthy.
Derrick Henry is a force. And like we thought the Titans were done.
Right.
When they lost Henry. They've withstood the storm. They've ran the offense more through Tannehill. And they've come out on top here. They are looking like a team that is going to be a force in the AFC.
Yeah. So, and if they weren't getting Derrick Henry back, I would probably predict them to lose in the first round.
Yeah, but if they get Henry back, which they are supposed to, and they're the 1 seed, I actually think. Now I know the Bills were my pick, and they still are my pick, but the Titans, if they're home against the Bills or really against anybody in the AFC, I expect that they could and probably they might win.
They did knock the Dolphins out of playoff contention yesterday, which is fucking anybody that knocks the Dolphins out of playoff contention is okay in my book.
Yeah, Tua tongue in the hole.
The Titans went right in there and put their tongue right in the hole.
Yeah, the tongue in the hole was real deep yesterday there in that game.
Right,
very deep. But so the Titans, who would they play if they're the 1 seed?
So the Browns were eliminated yesterday. The Dolphins were eliminated yesterday, and I believe there was the Denver Broncos. So fighting for that last spot now, we have the Chargers, the Raiders, and the Colts are the last 3 spots.
I expect the Colts to probably get that position. How about you?
Yeah, and then I think the Ravens can still. I believe the Ravens. So the Ravens can clinch a playoff berth if they beat the Steelers next week, and if they lose, and if the Colts lose, the Browns lose, and the Chargers lose.
Okay.
I don't think the Browns losing matters anymore.
Okay. Yeah. No, it doesn't. They're
So a loss by the Colts and the Chargers would get the Ravens in.
okay.
This must be an old thing that I'm looking at. The Steelers need to win tonight against the Browns.
Yeah, but
They need to win their final 2 games, and the Colts need to lose. My apologies for that.
yes. So ultimately, I expect the Colts to get that last spot.
So there's 3 spots there. So it would be right now the 3 wild card spots are Colts, Chargers, Raiders.
Okay.
Because the Raiders did beat the Colts yesterday, which
Is interesting.
hey, you know what? The Raiders are weird, man. They have the ability to beat anybody really. They always play Kansas City tough. Maybe not this year.
So who would be the team playing Tennessee if after
Tennessee would have the bye.
They'd have the bye. So
Kansas City would then play the lowest seed, I believe,
which would be probably
the Chargers.
The Chargers. So that I expect Kansas City to beat the Chargers.
Yes. And then the Bengals, would it be the Bengals? I believe it would be the Bengals. The Bengals would then play the next lowest seed, which would be the Raiders.
Okay. Or would the Colts or the Raiders be the next one?
No, the Colts are at the top of the wild card.
Okay, so the Colts would play the whatever the 5 seed, right? Or the 4 seed.
Yes.
They would play the worst team out of the bunch. And
it would wind up being New England, I think.
Which is not necessarily a blessing.
No, actually, it would be. Let's see here.
Well, New England's what, the 2 seed right now?
New England is 10-6. Buffalo's 10-6.
Oh wait.
The Bengals are 10-6.
Wait, the Chiefs are the 2 seed right now?
Yes.
So what's New England at? 4?
So the Titans are 11-5 because they have the head-to-head over the Chiefs, and the Chiefs are 11-5.
Okay.
So Chargers, Raiders are 9-7. Colts are 10-6, I think. 9-7.
Okay.
And then you got the Bengals at 10-6, the Chargers at 7-7, or the Steelers at 7-7. I'm sorry. Ravens are 8-8.
Okay.
So ultimately, you would go into the Titans would have the first round bye.
Okay.
The Packers clinched the first round bye on the other side last night.
Correct.
So
So it would be the Chiefs playing the Chargers, right?
Yeah, it would be Chiefs. So actually, wait a minute here. This is I was wrong. Of course I was.
What the fuck is going on over here?
So the 3 wildcard teams for the AFC are New England, Indianapolis, and the Chargers.
Okay.
With the Raiders on the outside looking in.
Okay.
So
New England would be the best wild card.
Yes, they would play the Bills.
Okay.
Which
is a great matchup.
Interesting. For the first weekend, that's an awesome matchup.
That's an awesome matchup.
So then you would get Chiefs, Chargers. I was right about that.
Yes.
Bengals, Colts, which would be another really good matchup,
That would
I
be
believe.
yeah.
And Bills, Pats.
Okay.
So obviously the Titans have to win this week.
Yeah.
To keep that one seed. We know the Chiefs are playing the Broncos. The Titans, I believe, are closing with the Texans.
Okay.
So
I believe they'll beat the Texans. Let's be honest. It looks like it's a foregone conclusion. The Titans are going to get the 1 seed in the AFC now, which is awesome and surprising. Ultimately, New England playing the Bills. I mean, I got to be honest. I told you, I think the Bills are going to go to the Super Bowl. And I said this a few weeks ago, about a month ago, actually, probably now. So I believe they'll beat the Patriots.
Right.
And New England will be on the road in Buffalo at that point because they're the wild card. So they still won't be able to have – they won't have home cooking or anything. I know they beat Buffalo in Buffalo earlier this year, but that doesn't mean anything. It's the playoffs.
Yeah, and the Bills turned around and beat them in New England.
Yeah, at New England. So it is what it is. It's a crapshoot. The only thing that I have a little bit of a reservation on now is the Tennessee Titans, if they're the 1 seed, which they look like they're going to be, they'll be a tough out, especially if Derrick Henry's healthy.
Yeah, that should put everybody in the AFC on notice if Derrick Henry comes back
healthy. If he's healthy, if he's anything like he was to start the year, for the first 7 weeks.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a
You
long,
can't game plan against a guy like
it's
that.
gonna be a long postseason for a lot of teams. I expect the Bills to beat the Patriots if they have to play the Titans in Tennessee with a healthy Derrick Henry. I think the Titans probably win, and it's gonna be that'll be a hard game. But I'm and that could get me to change my opinion on the Super Bowl matchup at that point.
Right.
But right now, we don't know that Derrick Henry is going to be healthy. There's a lot of variables, and who knows? Maybe Tennessee loses to the Texans next week. Anything can happen in the NFL.
Yeah, any given Sunday. That's what they say, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's like that. What Al Pacino movie? Any given Sunday.
Yeah.
So let's go to the NFC side.
Okay, so the NFC is a little on the weirder side. The only team that's on the outside looking in for the NFC is the Saints.
Yeah.
And they still have a chance to get in.
Okay.
So obviously they would have to win next week, and somebody above them would have to lose probably.
Yeah.
The Saints, I don't think the Saints are getting in with Taysom Hill as their quarterback.
I mean, the NFC to me is still the Cowboys. I know the Cowboys win or lose yesterday. They lost.
They lost.
They
but
lost.
They've done that a few times this year. They've gone out and they've played.
Yeah.
They've played bad games. I think even good teams have
played bad games.
You know, it's the NFL is so weird this year.
Yeah, I still expect the Cowboys to be the. I mean, what are they right now position wise? Are they the 2 seed?
No.
3 seed?
I believe. Let's check it out. I believe that the Cowboys are actually the 4 seed right now.
They're the 4 seed right now. Oh, jeez.
So it's Green Bay, Rams, Bucks, Cowboys.
Wow. The Bucks are the 3 seed?
Yeah.
Wow, if
the Bucks are 12-4.
If the Bucks would have lost to the Jets, the Cowboys would have been the 3 seed probably, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, ultimately, wild card wise, what do we got? We have
we have the Cardinals, who just beat the Cowboys yesterday. The Cardinals are a weird team to me.
Yeah, they're a good team, but they're a weird team.
The Niners, who won yesterday with rookie quarterback Trey Lance.
Yeah, I don't buy the Niners.
And no, I don't. You know, with Garoppolo, I think that they're silently they're
a better team with Garoppolo.
They could be dangerous with Garoppolo.
Yeah, they're a better team.
But
with Garoppolo.
I don't see them being anything
good with Trey Lance. Yeah.
And then our third and final wild card spot is held by the Eagles, and the Eagles actually did clinch one of those spots.
I actually don't think the Eagles are very good though.
So the Eagles did clinch a spot last night by winning.
So I don't think the Eagles are very good, though. So let's go through the matchup here. So obviously the Packers would have the bye, and then the number 2 seed would be the Rams. Who would the Rams play? They would play the worst wild card, right?
The Eagles.
That'd be the Eagles. I think the Rams beat the Eagles pretty easily, right?
Yeah.
And then I think what do we got?
You got Tampa Bay and San Francisco, and I think if Jimmy G plays in that game, that San Francisco could beat Tampa Bay.
Maybe, but I with Trey Lance, I don't see it.
No.
If Trey Lance plays, I think the Bucs are going to be the team that are going to win that game at least. Like you said before, to your point, they should win at least one game. That's probably the game they win. And then you got the Cowboys playing.
They would play the Cardinals again.
Oh shoot. That's a tough game, but the Cowboys would be home there for that game. They weren't home yesterday, right? Weren't they in Arizona yesterday?
Actually, I don't really recall.
I think they were in Arizona.
It would make sense if they didn't win that game at home yesterday. I mean,
I think they were in Arizona, but ultimately, if they got to play Arizona again, this quick of a turnaround.
That game was in Dallas.
Wow, but if it's this quick a turnaround, I think Dallas figures out how to win that game. Dallas is just a more talented team than the Cardinals are, and the Cardinals are, like, to your point, a weird team.
Yeah.
So
without DeAndre Hopkins,
I just expect I expect at the end of the day Dallas to end up playing Green Bay, and I believe Green Bay will end up losing.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, I'm with you there. We both picked the Cowboys, so
it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be.
But that would be the story. If you can't get Bucks Pats in the Super Bowl, the storyline that the NFL would love to have is the Cowboys going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, definitely.
And the Cowboys with Mike McCarthy going up to Green Bay.
Yeah.
You know, Mike McCarthy was the coach of the Packers when they
true.
got off the hook with that Des Bryant play.
And to the
for that would be a hell of a story for Mike McCarthy to go into Green Bay and beat his old team and beat Rodgers is probably going to win back-to-back MVPs after yesterday.
And to your point, well, actually not to your point, to the point of a fan at the old football game yesterday, the NFL's fixed. So if that's the case, let's fix this sucker up.
The young man sitting behind me made a very good point too. He said this with two.
You figure your hole.
Yeah. He said he had two middle fingers in the air, and he said, "Hey Brady, you suck dick."
And that is a good point to leave this on. Ultimately, folks, the NBA, to touch on that real quick before we end the show, it's kind of early still. The Lakers are not very good. Golden State looks like the team in the West right now.
And they're going to get Thompson back, which is huge.
Yeah, and then to touch on the East, Brooklyn looks pretty good.
The Durant is
Durant's unreal.
Durant's a bad man.
So we will see about the NBA. I think ultimately those. I mean, it's going to be a tough out for anybody.
We'll just look at the standings real quick while we're talking.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough out for Brooklyn to be knocked out, and I think for Golden State or for the Suns. The Suns are a good team in the West this year. To be knocked out. The Lakers look like a shit old team, and unfortunately for LeBron, LaDouche, Pink Slip, cocksucker. Bye bye.
Any nickname you LaFlop.
Yeah.
So
Dick in the hole.
Looking at the Eastern Conference real quick, you've got the Chicago Bulls are the 1 seed right now.
What? Really?
Yeah, the Chicago Bulls have the third best record, tied with the
Phoenix Suns.
They're right behind the Utah Jazz.
Utah Jazz.
Yeah, Utah Jazz come on your back. So the Bulls are 24-10 at the 1 seed. Brooklyn is the 2 seed at 23-11.
Mm-hmm.
Milwaukee, who the defending champs, who are very good as well. Miami, Cleveland's the 5th seed. I think old LeBron might be watching Cleveland, talking about coming home again. You know what I'm saying?
I'm coming home. I'm coming home. Tell the world I'm coming home.
Yeah, I'm coming on you, Cleveland. This one's for you. 76ers are. Oh wow, I'm actually surprised the 76ers.
You might have some Lepre-Crumb. The pre-clum.
Yeah.
LeCrumb. You're gonna have some Lepre-Cum.
The Sixers are the 6th seed, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
The Charlotte Hornets are the 7th seed, and then to close out the top 8 in the East is the Wizards. So you've got the Celtics there. The Knicks, obviously, not having as good of a year as you did last year, which is very fucking disappointing if you're a Knicks fan like me. Mm-hmm. I can't even watch them. They go and they win 3 games in a row, and they beat 2 good teams. They beat the Hawks on Christmas Day, and then turn around and lose to fucking Oklahoma City. It doesn't make any sense to me.
So ultimately, we'll say the Bulls are a surprise, but we'll say Milwaukee, Brooklyn. In the East.
Yeah. And then
in the West.
Probably Golden State and Phoenix, Phoenix are the 2. The Lakers right now are the 7th seed. I actually am surprised by that. I thought the Lakers were on the outside looking in.
No, but
it looks like the West isn't as good as the East this year, which is kind of funky.
Yeah, the West isn't...
Like the 9th seed is the Timberwolves.
The West lost some guys, yeah. So I think like, you know, for a long time the West was the much better conference. I think it's kind of shifted a little bit, but we shall see. NBA is a crapshoot, as they say. We will see. We'll see what happens. I mean, obviously we have a long way until June.
Yeah, so. And we're obviously going to we'll get deeper into the NBA and
we'll dive deep. April. We're gonna probe it.
We're gonna dive deep.
Yeah,
like
we're gonna dive deep. We're gonna have big probe.
Yeah. We're gonna dive in like a gynecologist
in a 50-year-old
swimming pool.
Yeah.
Fucking turn the tables on you.
There we go. A 50-year-old swimming pool. Yeah, a lot of chlorine in that.
Yeah.
So let's wrap this sucker up. Tie a bow around it.
Yeah.
New Year's is here.
We'll put a bow on everything.
Yeah. This is New Year's.
We will say goodbye until next time.
This is our New Year's show. As always,
we will say thank you, fuck you, and goodbye.
And I love that, Dylan. The fact that you always say fuck you, but thank you. And that is a testament to our creativeness.
Yeah.
We're a creative duo here.
Yeah.
For those 7 people listening, minus the one that we
thank you
obviously said judo earlier. We give you credit for listening to the whole show.
We did say something about a Jew earlier.
Yeah, and we're the furthest from anti-Semitic, but at the same time,
we're anti-everything.
Jerry Seinfeld's not the greatest. We'll just say that.
We love Jerry.
Yeah, fuck Jerry. Anyway, have a good day, have a good night, and we will see you next time on Mildly Offensive.
This is us tuning out, coming on you, coming away from you.
Boom.
Well, it's alright. Riding around in the breeze. Well, it's alright. If you live the life you please. Well, it's alright. Doing the best you can. Well, it's alright. As long as you lend a hand. You can sit around and wait for the phone to ring. Waiting for someone to tell you everything. Sit around and wonder what tomorrow will bring. Maybe a damn